Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Stories in English. Here you will find fun and simple stories to help you learn English. Today's story is called The Mysterious Lighthouse. It's about a boy who discovers an old lighthouse with a hidden secret. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Tom loved the sea. He lived in a small coastal town where the waves whispered secrets to the shore and the salty breeze carried the scent of adventure. Every morning he walked along the golden sands, collecting shells and small pieces of colorful glass polished by the water. The ocean felt like a friend, always there, always changing. But there was one place Tom had never visited, the old lighthouse on the cliff. People in town told stories about it.
That place is haunted.
Old Mrs. Peterson said one day while selling fish at the market.
At night, strange lights shine from the windows, but no one has lived there for years.
Tom didn't believe in ghosts, but the mystery fascinated him. Who turned on the lights if the lighthouse was abandoned? Was there a secret hidden inside? One evening, just before sunset, he decided to find out. The path to the lighthouse was steep and rocky, winding up the cliff like a snake. The wind howled, pulling at Tom's jacket, but he kept climbing. As he reached the top, the view took his breath away. The sky was painted in shades of orange, pink, and deep purple. Below, the ocean stretched endlessly, waves crashing against the jagged rocks. The lighthouse stood tall and lonely, its white walls now gray with age. The windows were dark, the door weathered and covered in rust. For a moment, Tom hesitated. Maybe Mrs. Peterson was right. Maybe something was strange about this place. But his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He pushed the heavy door, and to his surprise, it opened with a loud creak. Inside, the air was cool and smelled of salt and dust. The wooden floor groaned under his weight as he stepped inside. A spiral staircase led upward. He placed his foot on the first step and it let out a loud creak. His heart pounded. Was he alone? Up and up he climbed, his breath quickening with each step. The walls were lined with old photographs, maps, and paintings of ships sailing through stormy seas. Who had left them here? At the top, he reached a small round room. A large window faced the ocean, and in the center stood an old wooden desk covered in books, papers, and a lantern. The dust on the floor showed footprints, fresh footprints. Someone had been here. Suddenly, a noise behind him made him freeze. A soft tap, 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 like footsteps on wood. Tom spun around. A girl stood in the doorway. She had short black hair, wore a blue jacket, and held a small notebook in her hand.
"Who are you?"
Tom blurted out. The girl crossed her arms.
I should ask you the same thing.
"I'm Tom. I live in town. And you?"
She hesitated, then said.
I'm Lily.
Tom looked around.
"Do you live here?"
Lily smirked.
Not exactly, but I visit often.
Tom raised an eyebrow.
"So, you're the reason people see lights here at night?"
She nodded.
I like this place. It's quiet, peaceful.
She walked past him to the desk, picked up a book, and flipped through the pages. Tom watched her, still unsure.
"Why does everyone think this place is haunted?"
Lily shrugged.
People like stories. They see what they want to see. A flicker of light, a shadow moving, suddenly it's a ghost.
Tom glanced at the lantern.
"So, no ghosts?"
Lily grinned.
Not unless you brought one.
They stood in silence for a moment, the sounds of the ocean filling the room. Tom walked to the window and looked out. The horizon stretched endlessly, the sun dipping lower, painting the water with gold. He understood why Lily loved it here.
"Can I come back sometime?"
Lily thought for a moment, then grinned.
Only if you bring cookies.
Tom laughed.
"So, deal."
One evening, a storm rolled in. The sky turned dark, heavy clouds covering the stars. The wind roared through the lighthouse, shaking the walls. Rain pounded against the glass. Tom and Lily sat on the floor, wrapped in blankets, sipping hot tea from an old thermos.
Do you ever get scared here alone?
Lily thought for a moment.
No, but sometimes I feel like the lighthouse remembers things, like it's full of old stories waiting to be told.
Tom looked around.
Maybe it is.
He picked up one of the old books on the desk and opened it. Inside was a letter, yellow with age. Carefully, he unfolded it and began to read.
To the future keeper of this lighthouse. If you are reading this, you have found my secret. I have spent my life watching over the sea, guiding lost ships to safety. But the ocean is not always kind. One stormy night, a ship was lost before my eyes. I tried to save them, but the waves were too strong. Since that night, I have seen the light flicker by itself, as if the lighthouse remembers them too.
Tom looked up. Lily's eyes were wide.
Do you think it's true?
Tom wasn't sure, but at that moment a sudden gust of wind blew through the lighthouse, making the lantern flicker. Neither of them spoke. Outside, the storm raged on, waves crashing violently against the rocks. But inside the lighthouse, two friends sat together, listening to the whispers of the past. And in the distance, just for a moment, a light flickered on the sea.
So, here are 4 key words from the story that are interesting and useful for beginners. Lighthouse, a tall tower with a light that guides ships at sea. Whisper, to speak very softly, or the sound of something moving quietly. Flicker, to shine or burn with an unsteady light. Abandoned, left empty and unused, often in a lonely or forgotten state.